What's going on, everybody?
Oh no, this is...
Magnus is a faggot. I fucking hate this guy.
Wait, this handle is bigger?
Oh, really?
Oh. No, that doesn't work.
Oh, look at that. Shit music. Yeah, we're skipping that.
Metal Gear Solid, there are multiple moments where Master Miller gives small hints of his true identity, way before the big reveal towards the end of the game. The first one you can come across is after Ocelot places a timed bomb in your inventory. If you toss it away and then call Miller on the codec, he'll be really annoyed that Ocelot could do something so reckless.
That was too close, Snake.
Yeah, that was quite a surprise, all right.
Hiding a bomb in your items. That's a despicable act. He should never... Well, forget it. You'd better hurry to the underground base. You're almost out of time.
During the second battle with Vulcan Raven, if you call Miller, you'll have a conversation about ancestry and linguistics, with Miller knowing more about Snake than he probably should.
A native Alaskan American, huh? Probably Athabascan. They're originally from the same tribe as the Apaches and Navajos of New Mexico. Anthropologically, they're related to the Japanese. There are even linguistic similarities between Athabascan languages and ancient Japanese. You and he probably share many of the same ancestors.
Master, I don't remember telling you that I was part Japanese.
When you're going back and forth changing the PAL key temperatures, once
I didn't know this.
you've turned the key warm in the blast furnace, Miller will seem incredibly happy about it if you call him. Almost too happy.
The key changed shape. Hurry to the control room. That's the last key.
Master, I've never heard you so excited.
In instances where you're interacting directly with Liquid Snake, such as the battle with the Hind, you'll be unable to call Miller for obvious reasons, and he's unavailable for some time after you down the Hind. Although this isn't always the case, if you go atop Metal Gear Rex in the hangar, you can see Liquid in the control room with Ocelot, but you're still able to call him somehow.
You lost the key? Hurry up and find it.
Subscribe for more Metal Gear videos.
That's interesting.
None of that. The whole place went f***ing numb. And then I was like, yeah, that guy.
Bro, everyone's on it. They're all f***ing pointing at him. I got security guards over there.
So do you guys remember that piece of shit King Azuli? You remember that asshole who ran a train with his brother Dylan and his piece of shit friend Mayor on that poor 15-year-old virgin against her will. You remember he claimed he beat off 30 men at the same time, right? We were like, how can a person do all that at one time?
I've taken on not one, not two guys. I fought 30 guys at the same time and they couldn't take me out.
Well, now an arena full of way more than 30 men came to beat his ass, and he can't even pretend that he beat him off because it was all caught on camera, and he ended up crying like a little bitch all the way his ass out of that arena, just like he did in high school when he got punched in that Pinocchio lying nose of his. But when I exposed him, you guys remember, I told him, I said, listen, asshole, you want to be famous? I'm gonna make you famous. Just not what you want to be famous for. And now, look what happened to him. Wait until I show you this shit. So it's been a while since I spoke about that cream of some young guy giving asshole Ben Azuli. Remember, he gave it all, every ounce of it, every drop, to that poor restaurant owner who taught him Kung Fu. You're the Chinese man.
And I would come to him. He would move all of the tables and he would teach me Kung Fu. I was 10 years old, so I learned how to move with like Kung Fu, you know?
Yeah.
It was different and I loved it.
Well, since then, he's still walking around proud, thinking that
guy's
people don't
genuinely
know
retarded.
what he did. He thought he could mask it all this time, right? So he goes
This guy is literally Frank Defano if he was like heterosexual. And a rapist. Balsam Moose donated $2, so graceful. Oh. Oh my goodness. That's a very nice tanuki. Very graceful indeed. Oh. Dog found a mole. Dog smells the mole. Dog wondering what mole is. My goodness. Oh. Oh. The little chunk is
What are you
bad.
doing? Good morning.
He chewed through that. Oh, so long. Very, hot dog-like. Or a long pancake.
In these forests lives a bird that is about as unbird-like as it is possible. It sometimes wakes up before sunset, so it kilos.
The flightless
It's the
parrot.
world's heaviest.
Wow.
It can't fly. But Charlie Douglas, the tiny once every 4 years.
That's an interesting burb. Thanks for the donation, dude. Sleepy Donny Tiller is #1 ranked retard.
Current health update, my eyes are still wandering, which might be the cause of my chronic migraines. I don't know if I should get a strabismus surgery to fix it. Might not be a bad idea, but I've just been kind of hoping to be over the surgeries lately. I'm still lying in bed 18 hours a day, you know, getting up around 12 or 1 and going back to bed around 6 or 7 p.m. So the pain management clinics have not been helpful at all. To my understanding, the DEA does not allow these doctors to prescribe them anything effective. At least I'm able to sleep. This stuff, which is terrible for you, 7-hydroxymitragine, is the only thing that's actually let me physically fall asleep. And if you've never been able to sleep before, you will do anything to be able to just get a few hours. So, you know, I can't even get a few hours to work on my business or work on my house, let alone enjoy my life at all. So, not much to look.
I don't even know why he uploads these stupid videos. He just wants to whine.
Who doesn't want to be a shredded Greek god of a man? But social media and steroids have distorted our view of what's realistic, more importantly, healthy. Yeah, you could be lean for weeks at a time and be fine, but there are also 30-year-olds dropping dead. So there's a fine line to cross when cutting body fat. The important thing to understand is that body fat stores toxins. So does the liver and other organs. However, if you're very lean, you don't have body fat to store the toxins. They will concentrate in your liver as well as those other organs. Now,
No, that's not how that works.
most people do have toxins in.
Like, by the way, fat is stored in your liver too, so by losing fat, you generally also lose liver fat, and then, like, with his reasoning, you're removing toxins from your liver.
Their body and need to detox for several years before becoming optimally healthy, where it would be much safer to then be very lean. So you could be 8% body fat for a week or two, but generally 10 to 12% body fat is much healthier all the time. And if you're really toxic, you might benefit from being 15% body fat and over.
He just likes to make stuff up.
When I train upper back, mainly rowing movements, whereas lower back is deadlifts and hyperextensions, I separate the back into 3 parts. Upper back, which is the rhomboids and lats. Middle back, which is the inner rhomboids, and lats, the lower inside of your lats. When you do an overhand grip on a row, it tends to activate the outer part of the rhomboids and inner part of the lats, what I refer to as upper back. If you do a vertical grip, that makes it easier to really flex the rhomboids and inner back. Whereas an underhand grip, you can activate the lats.
You mean supinated?
And lower part of the back. But even with the same grip, when you're doing any row, you can choose which part of your back to flex and squeeze at the end of the motion. You can't really do them all at once, but I'll do 2 or 3 sets flexing my upper back, 2 or 3 sets focusing on the rhomboids, and then 2 or 3 sets really flexing the lats. You guys can learn more from my maximum volume hypertrophy routine on frank-stefano.com.
He couldn't have possibly sold like any workout routines. No chance anybody bought a single workout routine from him. Like, you'd have to be nuts. Like a gay, skinny, fucking weak little twink who's like retarded. Like, who would buy that from him?
Let's make my raw-fed dog some...
This is beyond extreme. If you think you need to feed your dog 19 different things for it to be healthy, you're on some wacky, dacky, cracky stuff. And I'm not exaggerating. I think she actually has 19 different things in this photo. The biggest red flag for me is if you're going to try to argue that a dog needs anything in their diet besides meat, it's just not correct.
We know for a fact dogs are healthier when they have things like vegetables and fiber added to their food due to randomized trials. So dogs might eat mostly meat in nature. You know, they do eat grass. They will eat like berries or something. They do like end up eating some of the stuff like that's in a creature's stomach. So if they like kill a deer or something, if there's any like grass or moss, they might eat that. But we know this from randomized trials. Like you're talking about decades and decades and decades of canine nutrition research. All these big companies like Purina, Royal Canin, they all pay for randomized trials to formulate the most ideal pet food. So there's a reason why there's not just meat in fucking pet food.
These big dog food companies and big agriculture have tried to convince us that dogs eat like humans because those foods are a lot cheaper than meat is. However, if you look in the right places, like we have grass-fed ground beef heart on Frankie's Strange Meat, that's very affordable per pound. I bet you the meat she's putting in that isn't even grass-fed or high quality. So, you know, if a dog is just eating meat scraps and organs occasionally and maybe some fish here and there, that's perfectly healthy. Your dog doesn't need kiwis and seeds and green crap.
I'm not gonna take any advice about anything from Frank, but thanks for the donation, Sleepy.
Good evening, VG. You look comfy. You had a good workout earlier. I give a mean massage, by the way. If you ever want to feel another guy's hands rub oil against your back and shoulders and relieve some of that tension, I'd be more than happy to do so.
Nah, I'm good. Thanks for the donation, James, and I did have a good workout.
Ever had a deep tissue oiled massage? Someone with so much muscle mass must be quite difficult to do a real deep tissue massage on. I'd like to practice on you if you wouldn't mind. Would you also be interested in happy ending? Cool face emoji, steam locomotive emoji, aubergine emoji, nervous sweat emoji.
No, I'm fine. Thanks for the offer, though. Appreciate the donation, James.
If you weren't with Pat, would you fuck a non-vegan girl if she was really cute and it was clear it was not going to turn into a relationship? Just casual sex? Or would you be too turned off by her not being vegan?
I'd probably be too turned off by her not being vegan. It kind of depends, like, especially being on steroids, like, you can get ridiculously super ultra horny. So, like, I don't know. It would have to be a kind of unique moment like that. But in all likelihood, no. Thanks for the donation, 21st. What was I gonna fucking look up again? Oh yeah, somebody said Blaha's live stream. Dude, it's so fucking cringe. Making the case for the death penalty for illegal immigration. Okay, so somebody's a fucking retard. Dude, the AI thumbnails, like, it's clearly not helping him either. It's just so bad. It's like the cringiest fucking shit you can imagine. Apparently Natural Hypertrophy did a live stream or something mentioning me. His last upload a year ago.
Hello, motherfuckers. Is it better? Is it fixed? I'm going to go bananas if you tell me it's not fixed. Is it picking up the mic? It's fixed. Praise be to the gods of YouTube who can't even figure out how to like allow you.
He hasn't. I don't know why he dropped off the face of the earth. His channel was actually doing really well. Like, look at the viewership he was getting in his live streams. The last bunch of videos were doing really well. I wonder why he just suddenly dropped off the face of the earth. See, Dodo donated $2. It's just stupid.
Yes, if you want to.
Thank you. Was that the one you took into court?
You're the very one.
Okay. What was your thinking of taking it into court? And what you were seeing, looking at some passages, what were the relevant passages for you?
All right. Thank you for asking me.
Thank you. That didn't hurt, did it?
A little bit. It was this from Isaiah. You're right, Bear did say, you know, be chilled. Sometimes I lose the chill, man. It's pretty... It's this. They don't like that, do they, in the old gallery? But remember, you just said it's a hired...
I never said his channel dropped off. I said he just quit when his channel was doing good. You know, get the fuck out of my chat. You're a fucking retard.
Spot. This is from Isaiah. Excuse me.
He's having a lot of trouble here.
Man, did I mark it before? It says here.
Yeah, he made a good point. The whole Bible thing is he's never read the Bible ever in his fucking life.
The verse that I was looking at that day was... I can't actually find the verse that I had that day.
Jeez. That's bad. So, yeah, the whole Bible thing, he's not a Christian. He just wanted to do this whole thing to make himself look better. What a pathetic retard.
I love your mommy. I don't. So Nellie here, she actually was born on a meat farm, and she wouldn't take to her mom, and her mom didn't really care for her either. So the person that owned the farm asked one of his friends to take care of Nellie and bottle feed her so that she could get her colostrum and that she could grow up and she could be happy and healthy, but they wanted her back. The thing is that the person that took on caring for her was vegan. So when it was time to give Nellie back, she said absolutely not, because she loved her and she didn't want to see her go to a meat farm or a goat dairy farm. And so she made her way here to Sasha. She was only a couple months old. We were able to continue bottle feeding her, and now she is a grown adult, kind of a brat, but she's doing
Wow, that's a nice goat.
really well. We're happy she's here.
That's a really nice goat. This link is broken.
the electricity grid, which is about 25% or so.
Exactly.
So 24%, it comes from agriculture and forestry. Why?
Okay, he doesn't mention that methane from cows breaks down into CO2 in water after 10 years. I don't know how exactly that's relevant. If you are growing more animals to feed more people, that means there's more methane and more of a greenhouse gas effect. Grass absorbs the CO2 by photosynthesis and their cycle repeats itself. Like, oh my god, dude, it's the dumbest horseshit you could ever fucking possibly imagine. Like, nothing, like, it's... What's the fucking page? No farmers, no food. Like, cope harder. Trump evacuated after shots fired in the lobby at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Assailant has been shot and killed by security. Fucking crazy. I wonder who it was for them to be at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
It's kind of weird that there aren't more herbivores. You would think evolution would tend towards animals becoming herbivores because plants are stationary, more abundant and easier to consume, right?
Well, there are in fact more herbivores. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo. Unless you count insects or something, I don't know.
How are you so educated on so many topics? You'll react to a video where someone makes a very specific health claim, and you'll instantly bring up the exact study to counteract it and be able to explain it thoroughly. Do you read studies in your free time?
Well, yeah, and just for making videos, you know, about the same topics. Thanks for the donation, Sleepy. Dodo donated $2. By that goblin eraser? Oh my god. That's good.
You don't know, motherfucker? You don't know? I don't know what I did. Son of a bitch, motherfucker.
Say it again.
I thought don't bring. Hey.
What's wrong?
Put the bag.
This is mine.
I know that's yours. Come here.
What's the problem?
What's the problem? What's the matter? Come here. Come on. Come on.
Let him know he's a motherfucker.
Okay. Come on. Come here. No, come on. I said get out. One more time. You don't know, motherfucker? You don't know?
I don't know what I did.
Son of a bitch, motherfucker.
What the fuck is
Don't
wrong
play
with
with him, my boy.
What's wrong with him?
He about to knock you out. He about to pack you up. My boy, he about to pack. Go back in there. He packing.
What the fuck is going on there? Okay. That guy just seems a little unhinged. Every car in the U.S. Will be required by law to have tech that puts constant surveillance on the driver by 2027. And your car will determine if you're sober, fit to drive, automatically turn off. Yeah, I don't really like that idea. I think I'm just gonna stick to buying classic cars if that's the case, or just old fucking pieces of shit. Or I'll just stick to bikes. This video is 174k likes. Snowstorm in Gaza. Oh my god, this is just fucking retarded. Greta Thunberg's Gaza flotilla is under immense fire after it came to light that Thiago Avila, one of the leading organizers, allegedly sexually assaulted, harassed 3 women on the ship. Allegedly, he probably just hit on them because he was horny, and then they just made up some bullshit story, but who knows. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Sleepy, don't need $2.
Guys, Frank Tufano has never been normal. He's never had a good life. He has always, even before the surgery, been like this. Do you know what job he worked before this surgery that apparently ruined his life? It rhymes with schmatterbait. No one does that shit if they have a good life. I'm sorry. So much of the shit that happens to him is just blatant.
The chatterbait stuff was soft. He was an actual prostitute. He was like a literal gay prostitute. It wasn't just chatterbait.
His fault. This dude will take out loans for the stupidest stuff, like take out loans to donate it to people, and then complain about being broke the next.
Yeah, he's a fucking retard. Thanks for the donation, Sleepy. Dodo $2. It was a SJW from California who ran into the building, who was probably paid by Iran. Oh, I see.
Shall I post it as soon as he passed down that?
Okay, so he wasn't actually in the place. They just heard shots outside. Well, that can't be the guy, right? Didn't he get shot and killed? So is that actually the guy? So I guess it's just some wacko from, yeah, some SJW dude. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Nigger has autism, so he has a good memory and remembers random things, including which niggers were shot during the BLM movement a few years ago and the context behind their shooting.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
Wow, Greta's boyfriend is just as unattractive as she is. What a match made in heaven, or let's be real, hell.
She's not ugly. Like, yeah, the back hair is kind of extreme. Like, not... I've seen worse, but... It's not ugly, it's just she's the most intolerable retard. Like... It ruins it. So, like, she's not good looking or anything like that. Like, it's not like you see her face and it's like, oh yeah, I want to stick my dick in that or something. It's just, she's not ugly. But yeah, she's also just one of the most annoying fucking people on planet Earth. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Goes to an MMA event. He goes inside the arena and he gets called out. But again, it wasn't just one, wasn't 15, it wasn't 30. The whole arena went crazy when they saw this asshole because they knew, just like I was saying, exactly what he is famous for now. So he always wanted to be famous. Well, now he is. And now, let me tell you what happened that night.
Bro, let me tell you something. This whole place is going upside down. I'm 99% sure he's going to fucking have to leave. They're getting him the fuck out of here.
15-year-old, right? Who 15-year-old?
Yeah, this guy very likely won't be allowed to go in public soon.
This guy? None of that, none of that.
Dodo, donate $2.
The Jews run the world.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
dude.
all of Hollywood. They're all of our elites. They're all of our
Bro,
politicians.
there's billions of them. Bro, how many Jews do you think there are, dude?
Yeah, a lot.
Let's guess, and then I'll guess, and I'll look it up.
I would say, so there's probably 8-9 billion people in the world. I'd say probably at least 2 billion.
Yeah, bro, I'm gonna guess it's like 4.
Isn't it like something really small, right? Like 13 million?
To be honest, let's look. Bro, there's only 15 million.
Yeah, 15 million.
Shall I teach you how to deal with atheists?
Yes, please.
You're the atheist now. Come to me.
I don't believe in God.
Yeah, I don't care.
What?
I don't care.
That's how you respond.
What do you think they're going to say next? What do you think they're going to say next when I say I don't care? They're going to say, why don't you care? Because I've just told you I don't care that you believe in God or not. Now they're shocked because you're supposed to be dancing like a monkey for me. Now all of a sudden you're telling me you're not interested in me. And these atheists think they're the most important people in the room. They think they're all intelligent and all this. And all of a sudden they're being told by a religious person that you don't care. You're supposed to be protesting. You're supposed to be convincing them God exists. They want to hear you dance for them. And you just told them you don't care. So they'll say, why don't I care? Why don't you care? And then you tell them, well, you're an atheist. You don't know anything. So your opinion's irrelevant. What you think I'm wrong.
Yeah, so I went on to a stream on 2 occasions. The second time he just kicked me, he wouldn't even be bothered. The first time I came out that he even let me on his stream, I didn't even bring up atheism. I brought up issues with moral realism in the context of Islam. And he had a complete brain fart. The fucking guy he was with, Sabor, he just looked like a fucking retard, and they wouldn't let me on stream ever again after that. So their whole strategy is to just lie, talk over you, obfuscate. Oh no, I was on his stream a second time, and they refused to actually argue with me. I think it was 2 separate topics. One was moral realism in the context of Islam. The second time it was a similar thing, a similar topic. But they basically just screamed and yelled, wouldn't let me talk, and then they asked me to formalize an argument, and then I did, and then they cut me off again. And then then when I finally made my argument, they refused to answer the argument because they said I'm not a scholar in Islam, which is not a requirement for anybody to debate them on their thing. So they knew they just didn't have an answer. I think it was Problem of Evil the second time. Failed Palestinian suicide bomber released as part of an October 7th massacre hostage ransom spoke remotely to University of California, Berkeley students. What the fuck? Really? Yeah, of course. Fucking University of California. It's universities are just a fucking breeding ground for just wacko fucking communists. Holy shit.
Shall I teach you how to deal with it?
That's fucking nuts.
Soon?
Yeah.
Okay, what is that?
It's just a handle I had on Instagram.
So it's your handle on Instagram?
It was. It's gone now. It's
What happened to
banned. It just got banned. It
Okay.
gets banned all the time.
Have you ever said anything like everyone? That's my instincts. That's what my instincts tell me.
I mean, I've said it before. It's just jokes.
I'm done video.
It's people with the Patreon.
So he probably said something that could be construed as a threat of violence or terror attack, and that's why they showed up, and I don't see an arrest, so who fucking cares? Was he sneezing? That's a nice kitty.
It's under the administrative control of the Fatah Party of 90-year-old Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. independent polling says Hamas, the group that carried out the October the 7th, 2023 terror attacks against Israel, is still the most popular political faction in both Gaza and the West Bank. But there are no lists officially associated with Hamas in either territory. The vote in Gaza is being seen as largely symbolic. It's being held only in Deir al-Balah, one of the few areas in the enclave not to have experienced an Israeli ground invasion.
Hopefully the rest of the governorates and the entire Gaza Strip will have elections and be distinguished after the fierce war. These 2.5 years of war, destruction, homes and broken streets. And we will see, God willing, our cities improve.
The Palestinian Authority also hopes the election there will help reinforce its claim to authority over the territory after its ouster by Hamas in 2007. It has, however, faced accusations of being both corrupt and ineffectual.
Yeah, they're Arabs.
DW correspondent Emily Gordine has been covering the story from the occupied West Bank, and a short while ago I asked her how elections...
Well, that seems fairly retarded. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Universities are a breeding ground for communists, the same way oysters are a breeding ground for toxic bacteria.
Yeah, thanks for the donation, Dodo.
This guy got clowned out of here. He had heard us screaming at him. Once he saw who it was, he was like, oh my God.
Hey, bro, I wouldn't give that dude too much play. You know who that is? That guy. Yeah, he said it. That guy. That guy. I said it. That guy. Fucking careful. Bro, my boy right here, King David MMA, was fucking on him, screaming it at him from over here. He walked over here and he's like, yeah, I am him, but I didn't do it. My boy was gonna crush his clavicle.
Did you a 15-year-old girl? Did you? And loud. The whole place went fucking numb. And then I was like, yeah, that fucking guy.
Bro, everyone's on it. They're all fucking pointing at him. I got security guards over here standing here like we're gonna sock him. They're all rounded up. We're gonna ball his ass out of here. Nope.
That is a hell of an accusation. Bro, this is Sean Selby, the most professional dude in the game. The matchmaker from the UFC. And he came over just now and he's like, bro, thank you guys. He's like, that guy is a child piece of shit.
Yeah, get that fucking guy out of here. Later, bro. Later.
And a tough enough so, you're out of your mind. We're gonna stomp you out. Don't even think about it. We're not even gonna say the word. You're one of those, and you're here. Oh, tripping.
So behind the scenes, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit what's going on. So I haven't spoke about this asshole for months, right? But for months, he's been sending me messages. It's like, John, listen, it's not true. The girl is lying. Her family is lying. It's all a lie. The civil case, it's all a bunch of bullshit, right? And I'm like, listen, Ben, I'm not here to tell lies on people, to hurt people for no reason. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm here to expose people for being a piece of shit. And when I see a civil case clearly says, your piece of shit Dylan brother and the other asshole mayor were convicted of these crimes, how can I not tell it? And I said, listen, you want to say it's all a lie? This is what you're going to do. The criminal case from 2008 is sealed, so I can't get it. My lawyer can't get it involved in the case because it's sealed. Nobody else can get it. So I
and left.
Teresa Fatwa against you about Jasmine.
That guy is a pussy. I told him, I'm like, you cannot be anywhere over here. Get the out of here. And he left. And he went to another area. And then Sean Shelby and those guys started in on him over there. And then the owners of Tough and all these people came up to me. And once we figured out who he was, they kicked him out.
Nice. Yeah, hopefully he's not allowed in public anywhere. That'd be nice.
Hollywood secrets of how to dress right for your shape and look 10 to 20 pounds thinner instantly. You could spend thousands of dollars on beautiful designer outfits and it could look like a potato sack on you if it's not right for your shape. The first and most important step in knowing how to dress right is to know your shape. Look around. We all come in different shapes and sizes. The top heavy cone, the bottom heavy spoon, a straight ruler, or a voluptuous hourglass. Me? I'm a spoon. Just by changing their clothes, we're going to make all those problem areas disappear. Now, this is Julie, and what she's wearing is completely wrong. She's a classic spoon.
That looks fine to me.
And although these riding pants may be hip, they're way too hip for a spoon. Now, here's Julie after our stylist dressed.
That is a downgrade. That chick has really nice, like, sexy hips.
Her the right way. Note how the bold jacket and horizontal striped shirt makes her look bigger on top to balance her out. Now,
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
this is the exact same jacket that looked so great on Julie. Susanna loved the color and it was her
That is not the exact same jacket.
size, but as you can see, it's just all wrong. This long, high-waisted, solid-colored blousey dress makes her look like she has no shape at all. Well, she certainly has shape now. And don't overlook the importance of a good push-up bra. How do you think the stars get such great cleavage? Now you know the fashion secrets and Hollywood tricks of the trade that can help you create the perfect silhouette and look your best, just by choosing the right clothes and styles to dress right for your shape.
Well, let's dive in and meet our first bad girl, Eve. I mean, badness had to start somewhere, right? I am convinced it was not an apple or a pomegranate hanging on that tree. No, baby, it was Godiva chocolate, I guarantee. The snake was definitely a he. Not an it, not a she, he. I have an 11-year-old girl. Will you pray for me? It would be a little easier if she hadn't hit puberty when I hit menopause. I mean, let's face it, what woman does not like to go out to eat?
I wasn't gonna eat it, I was just gonna taste it.
Boy, was that one juicy apple. You just bake it at 350 till it stops moving. It's not that hard. Well, I threw the gold in the fire and out came this calf. Three women were bad to the bone. Come to bed with me. Ooh. Ooh. He was a stud muffin, okay? Why, Delilah. As my mother-in-law, who grew up in the hills of Kentucky, says, well, smell you. I mean, they were just brand new Christians. You know how brand new Christians are. They're like puppies. He said, yes. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, ta-da! Duh! Fornicator!
The fucking Christian videos are always by far the most cringe of all.
Where's the non-biodegradables?
The problem is all the paper.
Hey, don't worry about it.
The problem is the landfills are just too small.
The problem is the Martians, dude.
Thank God for the garbage man.
I don't think we really have a problem.
I tell ya, we got a big problem. People don't know what to do. Hear them talking till they're blue. All that trash won't go away. Let's get real, it's here to stay. There's no problem, what's so bad? You don't care, it makes me mad.
Take my trash and go away.
But garbage problem's here to stay. We didn't start the landfills. They're from the good old days with all their throwaways. We didn't start the landfills, but they can't keep growing because they're overflowing. We didn't start the landfills, but they'll make us pay unless we find a way. We didn't start the landfills, but when we are gone, will the trash go on and 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 on?
That is so bad.
Any way we can. As of now, marijuana growers are an endangered species.
Ganjasaurus. Well, that's the funny thing. Nobody ever proposes an alternate solution to landfills.
While everyone's focused on Iran and the Mideast, Ukraine has been hammering Russian oil refineries, ports, their entire oil and gas infrastructure so hard it's not even funny. It's surprising nobody's talking about it. Funny how they flipped the script.
Well, yeah, it's especially important now for them to do that because Russia could make a lot of extra money from the oil right now, so must be pretty frustrating for them that they can't. Thanks for the donation, Sid. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. I like this Chuck Norris one.
Chuck Norris. 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 Karate Commandos.
Sometimes the things we want most are the hardest to get. That means you have to be even more determined to succeed. But that's what it takes to be a winner. You have to want it bad enough to stick with it no matter how tough things get. And things got pretty tough for us down in Florida with the Deadly Dolphins. sometimes you're gonna meet people who'll do anything to get their own way. You know the kind, bullies who pick on other kids in the schoolyard. They never like to play fair. Just like the Claw when he tried to bully me. That was a close one. The only reason we were able to stop the Claw is because we were better trained. Training requires a lot of self-control. That means giving up a lot of things for a goal. Like when mom or dad want you to do your homework now and watch TV later. It may seem like nagging, but believe me, you'll thank them for it. Think about it. Catch you next time. You know, there are people in the world who believe that violence is the answer to every problem. They're always the first ones to clench a fist or throw a punch. They think they always have to fight. The gang and I ran into the Claw and some of his more nasty friends while we were transporting a state-of-the-art robot on what turned out to be a terror train. Have you ever made a mistake? Of course you have. We all have. Many times it's hard.
I'm gonna guess he wasn't the one choosing his wardrobe.
Ukraine is just asking Putin to nuke them at this point. They are poking the wrong bear. I would be careful if I were them.
No. Thanks for the donation, the 21st.
Hard to face up to that mistake because it means you may be laughed at or punished. But when you do face up to your mistake and know you'll never do it again, then you become a much stronger person. And we needed all that strength on the island of the Walking Dead. Well, we finally got the robot to its destination. But more importantly, everybody on the train was saved. It was a tough job, and Claw was at his worst. I don't like having to resort to violence. It's always my last option. I'd rather walk away from a fight, if I can.
All right, let's get this out of the way first thing. I'm gonna say this one time only, then we're moving on. If I catch a single one of you commenting anything along the lines of you need to blow your nose or you sound funny, everybody's getting punished, okay? I'm aware that it's a little nasally today. The situation is under control. I appreciate your concern. Trust me though, I know, all right? Are we clear? Good. Glad we could come to an understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to announce that I believe the universe has once again stabilized. Everything is finally back to normal, or I mean, at least things are once again going the way we expect them to. And I say that because once again, the Mr. Beast company is being accused of something heinous. Feels like 2024 all over again. Yeah, so a few days ago, it went public that a former Mr. Beast employee is suing the company over claims of sexual harassment and workplace gender bias. Now, the claims come from a former executive named Lorraine Mavromatis, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. She worked there between 2022 and 2025, and she claims that the harassment of women employees was condoned and complaints were not taken seriously at the business. She also claims that she was fired after, quote, complaining about a workplace that suffered from a lack of basic employment protections. Now, obviously, these are extremely serious claims, and right now everything is just alleged, but to me,
probably bullshit, especially since it's a woman claiming this.
And really, I think most people, this looks pretty bad. And that is mainly due to the fact that this is not the first, nor is it even just the second time that we have heard of claims like this coming from people who work within or adjacent to the Mr. Beast company. Now, it is important to note that none of the claims that have made it to a courtroom have been confirmed yet, but at the same time, none of those lawsuits have come to a conclusion yet. And it seems like we are back in the middle of the shit show that was the whole Mr. Beast situation a couple of years ago. Now, if you somehow have no idea what I'm talking about when I say the Mr. Beast situation, wow, you've missed out on a lot. But I think in the context of this video, it's important that you're at least somewhat aware of what I'm talking about. So I'll do my best to give you a quick rundown in like a minute or less. For most of you, I realize that this will be shit you already know, but like I mentioned, this is not the first time we've heard of these claims. And I think that fact is extremely relevant when we are looking at a new lawsuit alleging the same stuff. So with that being said, let's get into the details. There's a lot to go through. Let's begin. Please subscribe. Okay, so like I said, gonna try and get through this recap as quickly as as I can, but there is a lot to go through. In my opinion, there is a lot of information that is relevant to this lawsuit and makes the whole thing look just that much worse. So basically, back in early to mid 2024, Mr. Beast found himself in the beginning of what was going to end up being like a 6-month-long endless wave of controversy. And as I'm sure many of you remember, it all started with Ava Chris.
Oh yeah, women lie more often when it comes to things like this, like sexual assault or misconduct or, you know, work. Like, you can just look at HR complaints by gender. Women are massively overly represented, and they lie about that sort of shit all the fucking time. As soon as you add women, and by the way, this, like, you can even look at how a workplace is, like, how many of a certain gender there are by proportion. The more women you hire, the more they complain, even about other women. Like, they just make a ridiculous amount of fucking HR complaints just because it's what they do. So it's not like just a particular bunch of men actually sexually harassing women or being inappropriate. Like, no, it's just women do this. They just like to complain about everything and bullshit.
Is Isaac primarily responsible for cleaning and organizing the house? He must be, since when y'all pigs were living in the pigsty of the last place. I can guarantee you most of that shit was not clean because of you. In fact, you wouldn't do your own dishes.
No, we both just clean, dude. Thanks for the donation.
Tyson, a long-standing member of the Mr. Beast channel. Allegations surfaced that there were some inappropriate interactions between Ava Chris Tyson and minors on Discord. The screenshots of everything spread rapidly, people started digging, and a whole lot of weird shit was discovered pretty quickly. And it was honestly pretty bad. Lots of seriously weird and seriously questionable behavior from Ava was discovered on Twitter, old Mr. Beast videos, and all of this together resulted in Ava's departure from the channel. Now, eventually, the Mr. Beast company announced an internal investigation into all this. A third-party law firm was brought in, and they found that the claims against Ava were baseless. Now, while that might be the case, the behavior that we could all see with our own eyes, stuff like having a fucking Shadman poster in your room visible in a Mr. Beast video, was pretty damning, and from that point forward, there was really...
The Shadman thing is kind of ridiculous. Like, I know how, I know how the guy, he was making, like, weird lolly porn of, like, actual people. I didn't know he did that. Like, you know, there are people who sometimes casually watch somebody else's content. I remember I saw him do a few sexy, like, drawings of some, like, video game characters. That's what I knew him from. And he did a lot of weird shemale stuff, too, for some reason, but... that's all I knew about him. I just casually, like, looked at his Twitter sometimes. So, who the fuck knows? Like, I have a hard time believing that if Ava Chris Tyson knew this guy was making, like, weird lolly porn of actual children, they would have that poster on the wall and shit.
I think your depression went away because you don't live in a filthy, disorganized pigsty and have a useless cunt bitching at you all day, not because of your shroom trip or testosterone.
No, I don't think so. Thanks for the donation, 21st.
No going back. The reputation of the Mr. Beast company was forever damaged, and it only got worse from there. Shortly after this, though, the whole Delaware situation popped up, and this one is a lot foggier. What actually went down is still not really known, but basically the main claim was that the Mr. Beast company hired a known registered sex offender and tried to hide that from their audience. Now, obviously, the claims about trying to cover it up are just speculation. Multiple former employees claimed that the higher-ups at the Mr. Beast company knew knew that he was a registered sex offender, but I did my best to look back into everything, and I think this is one of the things that never really fully got resolved or answered. What is known for sure though is that in some way, shape, or form this guy was employed by the Mr. Beast company and he was a registered sex offender. Anyways, after this, and honestly I think that this is probably the most important piece of context here, a class action lawsuit was filed against Mr. Beast production company regarding the Beast Games, with the complaint alleged being widespread mistreatment of the Beast Games contestants, with part of that mistreatment including sexual harassment. A quote from the lawsuit claims that the environment, quote, systematically fostered a culture of misogyny and sexism. So I mean, combine all of this with other one-off claims of just
Right, so it's basically dumbass women who don't work as hard as men, who got jealous that other people are making more money than them because they get more work done. Like, that's all it is. This is just horseshit.
General toxic workplace environments, including occasional claims of sexism and misogyny. And suddenly, this new lawsuit looks...
Oh, sexism and misogyny. Oh no, did somebody tell you to make a sandwich? Like, this is bullshit.
A whole lot worse than it might if none of this other shit ever happens. Anyways, so much for that 1 minute long read.
Congratulations, you're banned. See you later. Oh wait, what did the thing say? Yeah, oh, well, never mind. I just don't care. I unbanned you. Thought you said something else. That doesn't...
Recap, I did the best I could. I think that's as quick as anybody on the planet could have done that. Let's take a look at what we know so far about this brand new lawsuit. So, like I mentioned earlier, this lawsuit was filed by a former executive at the Mr. Beast company named Lorraine Mavromatis. And the main allegations of this lawsuit seem to be mistreatment of employees based on workplace gender bias and sexual harassment. More specifically, this article details that the lawsuit is accusing the Mr. Beast company of violating federal law that entitles eligible employees to take unpaid job protected leave for qualifying family and medical reasons, including childbirth. Mavromatis also filed a complaint with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission alleging discrimination on the basis of sex, pregnancy, and retaliation. She claimed that she was working non-stop following her baby's birth, including while she was in the delivery room. She said in an interview, quote, "I was still
Where does he live? North Carolina? Entitles eligible employees take unpaid job protected leave for qualifying family and medical reasons. Okay, is she a qualified employee? Like, what exactly was her contract? This sounds like just some bullshit, honestly.
No, yeah, you're right, the shrooms cured your depression. In fact, you being with that depressing cunt bitch would probably improve your life. You should dump Pat.
No.
Bleeding, and I just had to show up. She also said that in the years leading up to the termination of her employment, she experienced sexual harassment and workplace gender bias. Apparently
Yeah, sure.
Less than 3 weeks after she returned to work full-time after giving birth, she was fired. Due to all of this, Mavromatis says that she has suffered mental anguish, humiliation, embarrassment, and damage to her emotional and psychological well-being. She is seeking lost wages,
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that's just all bullshit. She probably got fired because she's useless, and then because she thinks she can get money or revenge on them, she's just doing this.
lost benefits and reinstatement, amongst various other forms of damages. Now, I think it's important to note here that the Mr. Beast Company and its lawyers have been strongly denying these claims. Like, the word strongly might be an understatement. A representative for the Mr. Beast Company has described the claims as a clout-chasing complaint, built on deliberate misrepresentations and categorically false statements, saying that they have the receipts to prove that that is the case. They also said that the company had extensive evidence, including messages, documents, and witness testimony.
Yeah, they wouldn't be saying that if there wasn't a good case against her.
That unequivocally refutes Mavromatisi's claims. They said that they will not submit to opportunistic lawyers looking to manufacture a payday from us. There were also some more specific things shared, like the company sharing an exchange on their workplace messaging app called Slack, where apparently a coworker told Mavromatis that she shouldn't even be checking her messages after she had to cancel a meeting because she was in labor. And also in response to the claim that the company failed to inform her of her rights under the Family and Medical Leave Act, the company shared a screenshot of her signature confirming her receipt of the employee handbook, including their FMLA policy.
Yeah, so she's just making this up. She's just mad she got fired and she talked to some lawyer that thinks they can just weasel some money in a settlement.
So, I mean, both sides are making extremely strong claims, and both sides seem pretty damn confident in their ability.
This video is just fucking stupid. Like, look, this is a fucking dumb bitch.
He promotes
just making up a bunch of claims. Like, it's obviously just horseshit.
Recreational drugs, bone smashing, and doing horrendous things to the world. But yet, it's not that bad.
Very sad this morning. My YouTube channels, Live with Clav and Clav's Lookmax, were terminated this morning with no warning and explanation.
Bro, you were already banned. And so notice how he does this the day after John Bravo exposes him. Clavicular said that, oh, I own a...
John Bravo didn't expose him on anything. Like, there's nothing to expose. So John Bravo just complained that Clav is doing that OnlyFans pimping thing. There's nothing illegal about that. I don't even see a moral issue with that. If he's trying to make OnlyFans contracts with willing adults, what is the issue? And the only other thing he brought up was the weird nightclub deal he had with someone who apparently had ties to organized crime. Find me any nightclubs that don't have ties to organized crime.
$5 million nightclub in Miami. How could a guy who had no money a year ago suddenly have enough money to buy a $5 million club in Miami? And on top of that, he was exposed for his involvement with OF. We've seen some of the contracts.
It's nothing to be exposed.
We've seen that he did not want people to know that he offers
okay,
very horrendously bad contracts to...
No. The only thing one girl mentioned was that there's an 80-20 revenue split. You have no idea if that's a bad contract.
These girls, I believe they get 20%, and that he keeps something like 80%.
If they're going to be making something like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times more than they would otherwise, and on top of that, all the work around OnlyFans is managed by a talent agency. So they have their own set of photographers that will help them film. They have their own staff that will answer messages for them. They'll also have staff that will help set up the pay-per-view thing, that, you know, they'll get more orders for the PPV shit. Then that may in fact be a very good contract. You have no fucking idea. Like, again, show us the contract. The only thing we know is some random dumb fucking bitch online saying she read the contract and it's horrible, and she mentioned an 80-20 revenue split, but we've never actually seen the contract.
And that many of these girls that are interacting on streams, well, they actually have contracts with them. And so in case you're thinking, oh, none of this is staged, he just goes to the bar and meets random strangers. No one ever has interacted with him prior to that. You don't think there's a financial interest? And so you can go and watch John Bravo's videos. And so you can see for yourself, and he is going to be posting more, exactly what's going on with clavicular. All you youngsters that are perhaps impressed by this, you're all losers, you're all pathetic, and I'm sad and embarrassed for you. Essentially, 2026 is the year of degenerates. The more of a loser that you are, the cooler you seem to be. For some reason, people are now idolizing and worshiping losers, and it makes no sense. Perhaps it's because they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to do the things like, for example, study, lock in, work hard. And so they love it when people make mucho dólares for doing bullshit.
The channels were consisted of live stream VODs and free courses.
Okay, whatever. It's yapping.
All right, letting that load up. Let's get the Facebook up. As soon as Facebook is up, I will go ahead and start this. All right.
You realize there's people who make like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million a year on OnlyFans. So if you can get that amount of gross revenue through an agency that has an 80-20 revenue split, you're still a millionaire. Again, versus you doing it all on your own and only making a few grand a month. So, like, again, why is that a bad deal? Like, make an argument.
All right, and Facebook is live also, live everywhere. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would cover some politics, current events for you guys. I was going to talk a little bit about the Trump situation with the girls that were going to be executed, the young women in Iran. But let's hop over to something I started on
Why did he make this a live stream and it's only 22 minutes?
Facebook this morning. And I love to do these hyperbole topics, and it's funny because people don't get it, and they don't understand politics or how things are negotiated. So when you come up with these extremes, people don't grasp it. This is how people argue in politics. This is what the left does, and this is why we lose all the time. So you have to understand that. I'm not necessarily saying that we should be extreme. This doesn't work. So when the other side is saying something like, all right, what's going on, Ryan, Client Ryan? You're going to have to debate with and negotiate with.
Yeah, that's just too boring to bother fucking dealing with. Far too boring.
5 years and $724,637 of crowdfunded money to test whether rapamycin would improve muscle performance when combined with exercise, and our results have just been published in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia and Muscle, and they did floor me when we first calculated them. So here to discuss the results is one of the co-authors of the study, Professor Matt Kaberlein. So Matt, you know the preclinical rapamycin research better than anyone. So why are you excited about rapamycin's potential role for human health? And when I first contacted you all of those years ago, why did you want to be involved in this particular study?
Sure. Well, first of all, Brad, thanks for having me on again to discuss the results of this study. As you know, I've been studying the biology of aging for a couple of decades now, and done some work on rapamycin in particular over that time, and work from my lab and from many others in the field. 5 years ago, when you were first starting to think about this study, had really placed rapamycin as the gold standard for a drug that seemed to slow aging, increase lifespan, broadly improve health span in laboratory animals, and all the way from very simple organisms like yeast and worms up to rodents.
What do roids matter if a 140-pound jitsu twink can clap you? Why is your channel?
And so, from that perspective, it seemed to me to be very reasonable to want to ask, is there evidence that rapamycin can have an impact on health span metrics in people? At that time, I had also started on a series of...
It's a fucking immune suppressant. Like, it probably doesn't do shit other than, like, increase your likelihood of being sick.
Clinical trials in companion dogs living with their owners in the real world, testing rapamycin. And there, the results I would characterize as preliminary, but we're also looking positive for things like heart function, activity, and quality of life. So we had a little bit of indication first of all, that rapamycin could be tested safely in a clinical trial setting, albeit a veterinary clinical trial. And, at least directionally, it looked like certain health span metrics were improving in the context of aged dogs living in the real world. So for that reason, to me, I still believe that rapamycin is our best shot on goal if we want to pick a single drug to look at in the context of biological aging in humans. And so, of course, it made sense to want to do what I could to help you get this clinical trial off the ground. And of course, I like to do cool stuff with cool people. You're a cool dude, so it seemed like a no-brainer for me to do what I could to help out.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. And with the design of the study, because some people have been asking, why didn't we do a lifespan study? And if we did a lifespan study in humans for, that would take decades. So, one of the reasons why...
John Penis donated $2.
Today I want to talk about a very specific topic that a lot of people, a lot of men think.
Low testosterone or something deeper. Well, this is about to get very gay, I can already tell.
And talk about when they pass the age of 40, and that is testosterone. The worry that they don't have any energy. They feel like there is something missing. They don't have the energy to go out there and get in shape, to earn more money, to go for their dreams, etc. When you look at the scientific literature and the studies, a lot of things is higher testosterone is linked to this, is correlated with that, and we don't really have an understanding of the mechanisms behind what happens to our bodies in relating to different ways of viewing yourself and the world. So much more than we can imagine comes from within us, from our perception of reality, from our perception of ourselves, of what life is about meaning. And each and every one of us has a subjective and
He likes to use words that he thinks sounds nice, but it ends up just not making any fucking sense.
unique perception of that. So let's say we're overweight, we've tried many times and failed to go on a diet, to start a gym membership, but we finally managed to do it. And we go to the gym, we start losing weight, we start looking in the mirror, we see changes, we get compliments from other people. What happens is that testosterone increases in different studies. Is it because of the weight loss itself, or is it because of the change of perception of yourself? You're seeing yourself more as a dedicated.
It's because of the weight loss. Like, oh my fucking god, dude. Kill me. Why does anybody, like, fucking listen to this guy unironically?
Dedicated and disciplined person. You're seeing yourself as a more good-looking person. Those mental states and those stories that we tell ourselves are the main driver and the main reason for that increase in energy, not the actual working out itself. Although working out does have a short-term endorphin release that does make you feel good, it's how you're thinking about yourself, how you're thinking about your actions, and how you perceive other people perceiving you in a more positive way, and you feel more victorious than before, which is one of the things that we do have some scientific studies on, which show that people who won competitions had more post-competition testosterone than the ones who lose. Even in studies where they trick, it's like a placebo study, they made someone believe that they won, and for those who believed that they won without actually winning, they also saw an increase in testosterone in those subjects compared to the ones.
There's literally no point of this video whatsoever. If you inject testosterone, you can raise your testosterone as high as you fucking want, and it obviously works. It makes you feel better. Like, again, this is in randomized trials where people are either receiving a placebo or a treatment. And the higher the testosterone, the better men report feeling psychologically. It also helps you build more muscle mass, has you lose body fat, particularly visceral fat. Like, what is the point of talking about any of this? Oh, somebody with a, 350 test got a 10% boost in their testosterone after winning a soccer game. Nobody fucking gives a shit.
I believe that they didn't win. And so that just goes to show how much our mental states, our beliefs come into play here. It's not to say that we have to feel like we're winners every single day, that we're crushing out competition. It's about having that perception that you are doing good, that you are actually moving in purpose, that you are...
Okay, shut up.
We selected muscle, is that if we could improve aspects of muscle function, that would significantly improve, markers of frailty and that type of thing. And one of the things when I was looking through the rapamycin literature that caught me, and again, this informed the design of the study, is that it seems that in aged human muscles, we overactivate mTOR complex 1. Rapamycin, it blocks mTOR. So one of the issues if you overactivate mTOR complex 1 is that you don't allow another process called autophagy to happen. So in theory, all of our aged muscles are hoarding onto these old damaged components and never flushing them away. So that it was hoped that if we could cycle rapamycin, so have periods of time where we take rapamycin, we block mTOR complex 1, we can allow autophagy to happen, and then when we exercise again, we can switch mTOR back on and rebuild those new components. So that was kind of the basis of the cycling hypothesis. And again, that's why we wanted to do a muscle study rather than a lifespan study. The number. So when I first pitched this idea about 5 years ago, I was actually looking through the YouTube analytics about this. I didn't kind of realize how expensive these.
Little Richard the first demand
types of trials would be. It was a lot of the 5-year journey was actually trying to figure out ways to actually get that funding. But without further ado, is any other bits and pieces that you wanted to go through in the study before we actually go into the results?
I think one thing I would add to the comment you just made, actually two things. One is, I agree with your characterization that there's evidence for mTOR hyperactivation, or at least suboptimal activation of mTOR in aging, in muscle in particular. One of the consequences of that is impaired autophagy. There are other consequences.
Yeah, I'm going to play the new James Bond game.
Including mistranslation of proteins, inefficient mitochondrial function. So I just want to be careful not to suggest that autophagy is the only reason actually to think that rapamycin could be beneficial. And I also want to mention there's an additional line of evidence supporting looking at muscle function in aged people, which is that in rodents, it's not an apples to apples comparison to what was done in this study, but there is evidence, I think better in rat than in mice, but even in mice, that in the context of normal aging, rapamycin can protect against muscle degeneration, sarcopenia, maintain body composition better. So there was preclinical data to suggest that this was a reasonable health span metric to look at. And I think it's important to put that out there, because there is a perception that inhibition of mTOR is always going to be detrimental to muscle function, because it's been well characterized for many, many years in exercise physiology that you need mTOR activation to build new muscle. And so I just want to lay that groundwork to say, this wasn't a crazy idea. There were plenty of reasons to think that this was a logical thing to measure as an endpoint or series of endpoints in a human clinical trial.
In terms of how we actually designed the study, what we wanted to do is try and make sure that the protocol that we were giving patients was actually going to be what patients could do in the real world. So what we did is we took 40 participants. Half of them took...
Low test beta fag at $90. I'd love to get on test for mental health reasons, but I live in the States and I don't know if I'm too young to get it prescribed. Early 30s. What would you suggest? Okay, so you're clearly retarded. So if you have hypogonadism, you can get it prescribed at any age. And you can just order it online. So just do that. Thanks for the donation, low test beta faggot.
Sirolimus or rapamycin 6 milligrams, and the other half took placebo, but both groups were exercising. And the exercise protocol was that we actually delivered exercycle bikes to their homes, because these were older adults aged between 65 to 85. And again, we wanted to make sure that this exercise program was going to be something that they could easily do within their homes that was safe as well, because the last thing we wanted is for an 85-year-old to do, high intensity interval training and it cause some sort of injury.
Right.
So that's why we set this study up in the way that we did. And it ran for 12 weeks. So that's, I think, also important, is that it's a relatively short-term study. And people were taking either the rapamycin or placebo on day 6. So they would exercise on day 1, day 3, and then day 5. And then they would take rapamycin on day 6. And then again, they did that for 12 weeks. And the hope was that if we dosed the rapamycin on Saturday, in theory, most of the rapamycin should be out of their system by the time that they start exercising again on Monday.
You must be looking forward to seeing Pat. When will that be? Is Isaac taking care of Gum Gum while you're in Australia? Will you be shooting any vlogs from there?
I might do vlogs. I'll definitely be live streaming. And yeah, I am looking forward to seeing Pat. And yeah, Isaac's gonna take care of Gum Gum. Thanks for the donation, Unweb.
The overall gist. And sorry, before I go into that, one of the things that I really wanted to make sure about when we set up the study is that we wanted to have all of our endpoints registered. So what I mean by this is that we actually were on a clinical trial database so that people could know exactly what the study was doing, what it was measuring. So you couldn't fudge anything. There's no p-value hacking or anything like that. And you can follow exactly what we did. And so all of these endpoints and all of the sensitivity analyses, they were pre-specified. So yeah, again, no fudging of numbers. So the primary outcome, so the one thing that we wanted to test, the main thing that we wanted to test was the 30-second chair stand test. So this is how many times can you stand up and then sit back down in 30 seconds. And we chose that marker because it's relatively sensitive for...
Wow, so this is just dog shit.
Overall muscle power and strength in older adults. Again, we had 40 participants and the primary intention to treat analysis. So this means that you're including everyone in the study. This one didn't reach statistical significance, but it did trend towards the placebo group actually improving their 30-second chair stand test more compared to the placebo.
Oh, what a surprise. Rapamycin sucks.
Placebo group, which is a interesting finding, but again, it's not statistically significant, so I don't think we should necessarily overinterpret this. But then when we did have a look at the sensitivity analysis, and again, all of this is pre-specified, that's why it's here. When we just looked at the people that completed, so it's called case complete, so these are the people that we managed to collect data on, that is when we could see statistically significant results where the placebo group was improving their scores more compared to the...
Hi everyone. We love each other so much and we're so similar. Remember when you...
Rapamycin group. And then if we further drill down, if we have a look at the per protocol analysis, so this is people defined as they either took 75% or more of the study drug and they did 75% or more of the exercise plan. So these were the people that really stuck to the protocol. This is where the difference in the starts to widen. And again, it's more that's a misnomer, but the Cohen's D or the effect size is greater. So again, it seems that the more that people were sticking to this protocol, the more divergence there was between these two arms, which is a...
Yeah, so rapamycin sucks. It's a stupid drug. Don't take it. It's dumb.
Well, it's not exactly...
Why? Like... We have steroids. They're doing a fucking test on fucking rapamycin to see if it has any fucking muscle building benefits in older adults. We have steroids. In all likelihood, most of these men are either hypogonadal or near hypogonadal anyway. Like, why are they not on a fucking TRT protocol? Why isn't this a fucking TRT study? Like it's just, like, what are we fucking doing? It's so retarded. Like, we'll fucking use some, like, potentially dangerous fucking immunosuppressant drug to see if that has a benefit for muscle mass when we have a fucking drug called testosterone that's existed for, like, what, fucking 80 or 90 years now? That's safe? Like, it's just so stupid. Fucking rapamycin. Just...
Thoughts on this article? Men on average have a 6-year shorter lifespan. Also check out this store I went to today.
High, low testosterone levels linked to higher mortality risk. Older men with mid-range testosterone levels tend to live longer compared to men with high levels. Yeah, this is bullshit. So this is just some dumb, yeah, great. So they don't. Okay, so they don't link. This is just a stupid fucking article. Basically, what I'm assuming is I've seen this in other similar research like this. Blood pressure was the main contributing factor for why men with higher testosterone had higher mortality in certain groups. I don't particularly know why that is. What you'll often find is that certain things like cigarette smoking or nicotine use is associated with higher testosterone. So if you're, it's arguable if it's a chicken or the egg thing, but men with higher testosterone, they tend to have a higher propensity to drink, smoke, use other recreational drugs, and they might have other bad habits like eating more sodium. But basically, when you just control for high blood pressure, those associations go away, and you don't see higher mortality rates with people with high testosterone. That's what I'm assuming this is. I've seen similar findings to this, but this idea of, oh, you want to be in the middle of the range is just fucking retarded. There's about 4 or 5 other major prospective cohorts that found men in the upper quartile of the testosterone range, over 1,000, they had the lowest risk of mortality. So I'm assuming it's just a blood pressure thing. Check the store. Yeah, that's great. Thanks for the donation, non-wib.
The results that we had predicted going into the study. So I think I'll stop there now. When you first, came across these results, when we calculated them together, what were kind of your initial impressions?
Sure. So a couple things I would say up front. So first of all, I want to emphasize what you said, which is that all of this was pre-specified. I really think this clinical trial was done to the very highest standards you could really possibly do a clinical trial to in terms of rigor. People can criticize the sample size and the length and duration of the study and all of that, but in terms of the design and really trying to take a rigorous, unbiased approach, I think you did everything that could be asked, should be asked. And so that really provides confidence in at least the interpretation, right, of the outcome. And so there's 2 pieces here that I think are really, really important. So one is it did not hit statistical significance for the primary endpoint. And that's the most statistically rigorous analysis. Even though the sensitivity analysis was pre-specified, it is a less robust type of analysis that breaks randomization. So I think it's just important for people to appreciate that. It's not p-value hacking, but it is predisposed.
Dude, before wasting all this money, nearly $1 million fucking dollars, I could have told you this was fucking stupid. Fucking Brian Johnson stopped taking rapamycin because he kept getting fucking ill. He was getting sick constantly. And when he checked his biological aging thing, it was actually increasing faster on rapamycin. What a fucking surprise. So, it's just garbage. And the guy had issue maintaining muscle mass on his low-calorie diet. What did he do? He went on testosterone. Oh, what a fucking surprise. Why in the fuck would you bother investing in any human research on rapamycin at this point? It's a fucking worthless, stupid drug that only people who've undergone organ transplants should be taking. It's just idiotic to fucking look into it for aging research. Just beyond stupid.
to false positive results. In this case, the false positive potentially, I'm not suggesting it is really a false positive, potentially being the statistically significant difference that was observed. That's just the nature of doing these sorts of additional types of analyses, especially sensitivity analysis that breaks the randomization. It is intentionally designed to be more susceptible to false positives with the expectation that there will be future trials that can really determine was it a true positive or a false positive. So for that reason, I personally have less confidence, and I'll give you my take home, what do I actually believe? But just from a pure statistical perspective, I have less confidence that there is a
Yeah, Gummy has stronger arms than Frank.
real statistical difference between rapamycin and the placebo group, because you only see that in the sensitivity analysis. Having said that, the other thing I think that's important to appreciate is, regardless of whether that's a true difference, both groups showed improvement. The one interpretation, which is really where I land, in terms of what I believe in my heart, is that the placebo group improved more than the rapamycin group. Or another way to say that is rapamycin attenuated the improvement in function in the chair stand test, right? But both groups showed improvement, at least.
These people are out of their minds fucking stupid. Look, if there's a noticeable benefit to a particular drug that, wasn't intended, you tend to hear about it, right? So when the GLP-1 agonist drugs like Ozempic first came out, they were initially intended for treatment of type 2 diabetes and weight loss. Well, what you ended up finding was that it also seems to help improve issues with addiction, particularly with alcohol, but it also seems to also have an effect on gambling addiction, might also have a benefit with addiction to other drugs. You do not hear that with rapamycin. Nobody who's gotten an organ transplant and started taking rapamycin started saying, oh, my muscles feel so much looser and young again, or, oh, I'm noticeably stronger and more fit. Not a single fucking person ever said anything like that. But you do hear people, and there's research supporting this now, saying that when they took Ozempic, they surprisingly got over their issue with alcohol addiction. So just use your fucking brain. It's just stupid. But why bother?
Directionally, whether that's statistically significant or not directionally. So that's kind of that's what I think happened here, right? And again, there's what can we say with 100% confidence based on the maybe I should say 95% confidence, because that's the typical p-value confidence threshold, versus what do I actually think is going on. So I think, given the exercise regimen, the dosing protocol, the length of the study, all of the factors that were involved in the study design, rapamycin attenuated the improvements in muscle function based on these tests in this population, but both groups improved. And I think the other thing to say is, if you look at panel B there, right, I think this can help people appreciate how noisy human data is, right? This is why it is hard to see statistical differences, even with 100 people in each group, because there's so much individual variation. Many of the rapamycin users improved as much as the placebo users. Some of the placebo group actually went down in function. It's all over the place. And so that's why we really need to do, well-powered clinical trials for when we're talking about human studies.
Well, look, this is bullshit. Just looking at I don't even know why the fuck he's saying this. Just looking at this, you see trend lines that are far more vertical than with the rapamycin group. So you see steeper angles all over the fucking place with the placebo group versus the rapamycin treatment group. The rapamycin group, it's almost entirely horizontal. There's one outlier here. Whereas you see much steeper angles. So I don't know what the fuck he means by that. That's just visually apparent to me. On top of that, again, it's fucking rapamycin. Are you retarded? Oh yeah, and like, oh, some people trended down. Yeah, it's because they weren't following the fucking treatment. Like, it's that simple. So this guy who had a reduction in physical fitness before and after happens in all of these fucking studies. They just weren't following fucking treatment.
Clinical trials for when we're talking about human studies, especially in healthy people, where we're not really trying to target a specific pathology of a disease. I don't know. Does that align more or less with kind of the way you think about this, or do you have different thoughts on the outcomes?
Yeah, I'd say mostly. I think it's critical that we don't necessarily overinterpret these results. The other thing that I probably would say, just skipping...
What do you mean overinterpret? It's a garbage fucking drug. So, like, again, Brian Johnson got fucking sick, felt like shit, and aged faster on fucking rapamycin. Nobody who's ever been on fucking rapamycin has ever fucking said, oh, I feel younger. I feel more invigorated. My muscles are stronger. Oh, I'm more flexible. No one has ever fucking said that. Where the fuck does this idea come in that, maybe rapamycin could help with muscle? Why are we even exploring this? We have a fucking drug that would obviously be better. It's called fucking anabolic androgenic steroids.
Head to the secondary outcomes, because the other measures of muscle performance that we used were the 6-minute walk test as well as hand...
Like, seriously, these people are fucking faggots. Like, you're obviously a gay faggot retard if you're just not going to prescribe fucking steroids to somebody to improve their physical fitness. Like, you're actually a gay fucking retard. Let's investigate rapamycin when we have fucking FDA-approved steroids that do this exact same thing and obviously are going to work far better. Out of this world stupid. Like, I can't fucking even, dude.
Grip strength, and those ones didn't reach statistical significance, but they still trended in the direction that the placebo group improved more compared to the rapamycin group. But again, I agree with your overall point that we mustn't overinterpret these results, particularly since the main primary endpoint wasn't statistically significant.
Yeah.
But I do think that it starts to paint a bit of a picture that over a 12-week period, dosing once a week, at least in this population, may be, either too much or they need some sort of a washout period. Because that's the thing. It would be really interesting to have repeated this if we stopped the study drugs at the 12-week mark, but then continued both groups exercising and then tested them again at the 24-week mark, because you might find that the curves reverse.
Right.
But again, I think that over at least a 12-week period in this population, I think this data starts to paint a bit of a picture that, maybe the dosing protocol might not be optimal.
Yeah.
No, it paints a picture that this drug fucking sucks. Like, again, if these people were to be given testosterone, there would be an obvious, like, fucking clear, non-fucking debatable benefit to taking testosterone. Now they're fucking saying, oh, well, we need to, like, fucking micromanage the little tiny fucking dose of this extraordinarily expensive drug, and run the tests again to see if, oh, there's like this microscopic like difference in fucking quantity that might... What are we fucking doing here? The more steroids you take, the fucking bigger and stronger you get. Why the fuck are you fucking around with fucking rapamycin?
I mean, I think that's a very reasonable hypothesis, right? And so obviously, in a perfect world, we'd be able to test that hypothesis. Hopefully we will, or someone else will be able to.
No, they're retarded. Why would you waste your fucking money? Like, what they should be doing is just investing in more steroid research. Like, that's it. And there's a company that's doing that. They're making deuterated testosterone. So it's testosterone that is resistant to aromatization. Like, I don't know why the fuck... Like, it's just so silly to me. We were able to come up with... dozen? Well, actually, it was more than dozens. It was literally over 100 different anabolic androgenic steroids around the 1950s and 60s. It's just that most of them didn't end up coming to market because they weren't very good. But we like, again, all of the anabolic androgenic steroids that are used today, they all came out around the 1950s and 60s, with like one exception. I think Anavar might have been made later. But these are very effective, very safe, and very old drugs. Why in the hell aren't we just researching steroids more? But instead, rapamycin, a fucking drug that makes you sick, makes you prone to fucking illness, in an age of pandemic disease where we just had, like, it's an endemic at this point. We just had that fucking crazy COVID-19 pandemic. We're about to have a fucking another flu pandemic, and they're making a new flu vaccine based on that mRNA technology because they know it's about to happen. Yeah, let's make a fucking drug that destroys your fucking immune system and makes you more prone to sickness in an age of pandemic diseases so that we can live longer, even though there's no indication in humans it helps anybody live longer. But we fed it to a rat. The rats lived longer. Like, fucking kill me. It's just... give it up at this point. Like, you're a fucking idiot if you're wasting your time on this nonsense.
A couple other things I want to mention because that have occurred to me since we first started looking at these results as well. I mean, I think what you said about the fact that even in all the secondary analyses, even though they didn't reach statistical significance, directionally, they're all suggesting that the rapamycin group did not perform as well as the placebo group, or didn't see as large of improvements as the placebo group. When you start to see directional changes across multiple endpoints in a clinical trial, that even though statistically we can't say that improves our confidence about the statistical significance, it should appropriately make you consider that it is probably likely that that's a real result. At least, again, that's the way that I view this through my sort of pragmatic lens, that it seems as though across many, if not all, of the outcomes that were being assessed in this clinical trial, the rapamycin group did not perform as well as the placebo group, right? And so when you see that directionality over and over and over, you start to get confidence. Okay, this is probably a real signal. We don't necessarily know what the explanation is. The other thing, though, that I find a little bit surprising, and this is where I think putting it in context of the data that we have, across many, maybe not many, across many different studies, right? And let's leave the preclinical stuff out of it and just think about the human studies with rapamycin. This is really the first study I can think of where it really seems to be a pretty clear signal that rapamycin underperformed the placebo. So that's a little bit surprising, and we don't have very many in the context of...
It's not surprising. Like, again, name one fucking person who said anything good about rapamycin, who's been taking it because they got an organ transplant or something, or they have an overactive immune system. They just get sick more often. They get more skin infections, or they get more fucking colds, and that's fucking it. So, like, again, that should give you every fucking indication that this isn't going to do fucking shit if you give it to a bunch of people following an exercise routine. Like, it's just so fucking dumb. Whereas, like, again, you have drugs like Anadrol that ended up getting FDA approved to treat anemia. Guess fucking what? When people are given Anadrol to treat anemia, they get more muscle mass and strength instantly. Like literally like 30 minutes after you fucking ingest or inject Anadrol, you're instantly more fucking strong. So like, what is that? Like, I don't know why these people have this like dumb fucking retard brain where they can't put two and two together. Just nobody like makes any fucking sense anymore.
Muscle function in humans. But, there was the Pearl trial, and that's got a lot of challenges in interpretation as well, that over a larger period, I think it was 48 weeks or something like that, a longer period, at least in women, there did seem to be a positive change in body composition in the rapamycin group. Now, body composition is different from, sit-stand test or 6-minute walk, so it could be the way it was measured. But that's at least a a different clinical trial that got an apparent opposite outcome. And that, again, may be because that was a longer time frame. Dosing was different. We can talk about dosing because I think that's a leading hypothesis here, is that this dose was probably higher than optimal, at least for these particular outcomes over this time frame.
Guess what? The more steroids you give somebody, the bigger, faster, stronger they fucking become. The more, the fucking better. Like, again, if they're gonna play the stupid game where, oh, well, maybe you need a really, really small dose of rapamycin for it to do anything. Like, what does that tell you? It tells you this drug is fucking worthless for improving physical fitness in older adults. Because, like, you're just not going to end up getting a big effect size. Ideally, you want to have, like, an actual amount of leeway with a drug where the more you take, the more of a benefit you get. So, like, that's why it's an issue with blood pressure medications where there's basically an upper limit or cutoff where the drugs just don't do anything more. Like telmisartan with a lot of ARBs, beyond something like 80 milligrams a day, they actually won't lower blood pressure anymore. And if you need any more blood pressure lowering from those drugs or from a drug, you need to use multiple drugs. So you have to combine an ARB with like an ACE inhibitor or a beta blocker. That's not a good thing. Like, ideally, you want a drug where you take more and you get more of a fucking benefit from it. Because as soon as somebody is non-responsive to the dose, well, then you can just up the fucking dose. So they're literally just proving this is a fucking stupid dead end and it shouldn't be fucking researched anymore. Like again, why can't they use any fucking common sense and rapamycin. Like, they just want to study rapamycin because it's this like stupid, dumb, fuck, retard hot topic right now, and it's just trendy. Just so it just blows my fucking mind how stupid people can be.
Pearl trial attempted to do 5 mgs and 10 mgs once a week, but because of formulation challenges, they used compounded rapamycin without an enteric coating. Estimates are that their effective dose was around 1.5 mgs per week. So if that's correct, that was a lower effective dose than this study and a longer time frame and a different patient population. So, you know, this I think you appreciate now many of the things that I learned when I was designing the clinical trials in dogs. When you're designing a clinical trial, you have to make a series of decisions, best guesses about all of the different parameters that go into the clinical trial. And then you get to the end and you're like, oh boy, maybe we should have done it differently, but you do the best you can with the information you've got at the outset.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And just to finish up the results section, so, you know, we measured it.
These are two people who have absolutely no fucking reasoning skills, or this is just an entirely cynical fucking thing they're doing where they know there's just a substantive amount of public interest in rapamycin just because, again, there's been so many fucking articles, so many fucking influencers have been talking about it. It's been hyped up like fucking crazy, and they just want some cash. And they know if they do some like fundraiser thing for rapamycin research, they're just gonna get the money. That's the only other explanation. Otherwise, like, they're just so fucking outrageously stupid. Like again, oh, let's use this drug to improve physical performance. Oh, well, maybe they took too much of the drug, which is why it's literally worse than taking nothing. That should tell you right then and there, this is a garbage fucking drug for the purpose they're looking into it, like that they're trying to research it for. Again, with steroids, the more you take, the more jacked you get. Perfect fucking type of drug, where if you escalate the dose, you get more and more jacked. Perfect fucking type of drug for that application of maintaining or gaining physical fitness and strength. Rapamycin, oh, well, you need a very specific dose, and if you take too much, you'll actually get weaker. Like, terrible, terrible fucking drug, clearly. And they're still suggesting, like, this is a good idea. How do they have a fucking audience? How do people take these people fucking seriously? Like, the entire fucking planet is just made up of complete and utter useless fucking retards. Like this is why movies suck right now. This is why so many video games, like the fucking Grand Theft Auto series used to be great. Now it's shit. You know why? Because fucking retards.
A few other things like the SF36 questionnaire. So this is just a questionnaire looking at different health-related metrics. There was no statistically significant results there. We had a look at CRP, which is a marker of inflammation. Now, with this, I did just want to spend a bit of time on this because you'd expect that with rapamycin, that should overall lower inflammation, whereas we saw the opposite. But this was a bit of noise in the data because there were 2 outliers in the treatment group, and they had both marked elevations of CRP. And CRP can go up for a variety of different reasons. If you've got,
Well, they're fucking old, so... like, what do you expect in this kind of study population? They're old as shit.
A cough or a cold at the time, if you
have a cough or a cold, CRP could go up. Well, what does rapamycin do? It makes you more likely to get a fucking cold. Oh, like, give me a fucking break. Like, this is just so stupid.
Banged your knee, if you've, done something like that, your CRP can go up. So I don't think that, people should overinterpret the CRP rise within the sirolimus arm, because again, I think that's just noise. We had a look at, safety and adverse events.
Do you see how fucking hard they're trying to defend rapamycin? Like, so ridiculously hard, trying to come up with every fucking excuse, every rationalization to, like, oh, well, maybe we could do the study differently. Maybe we could use a different dose. Well, don't look into the fucking data too much. It could have just been noise. Maybe it didn't last long enough. Like, who knows? Like, oh, it wasn't statistically significant, so it could have gone the other way. Like, everything they fucking can to justify looking into rapamycin more when it's clearly a fucking garbage drug, even by just their own reasoning. Again, these people admitted, well, maybe they took too much. Maybe you need a lower dose. By their own fucking reason, this drug is absolutely garbage and trash for the application that they were using it for this study.
Overall, there were a higher number of adverse events in the sirolimus arm compared to the placebo arm, but most of these were just they were to do with muscle aches and pains from from the exercise protocol.
So they had a hypothesis that you might have muscle cells that have like bad components, and rapamycin will help flush out those bad components. And then what happens? The rapamycin group had more muscle aches and pains, even though, again, their intention was to try to improve like muscle quality, endurance, strength, and all this shit. What does it fucking do? It gives you more aches and pains. Oh, yeah. What a great drug, right? We got to research this more. Everybody who takes it gets more fucking sick and complains about side effects. The fucking big anti-aging guy who's a fucking mega millionaire who could take any fucking drug he wants, has a big team of fucking doctors working for him, stopped taking rapamycin because it was fucking dog shit and it was like actually aging him and making him more prone to get sick. Let's study rapamycin. Rapamycin might be good. Maybe we just need to use a different dose. Rapamycin, give me money for rapamycin. Like, this is just fucking, like, I think it's clear. They're just grifting. They just want to try to sucker people out of more fucking money so they can just do more fucking garbage research on a garbage drug and waste their fucking time.
So again, I don't think that we should necessarily overinterpret this.
Sleepy, don't tell her, imagine being this dumb. Oh yeah, he's really fucking stupid.
Your diet like today?
I usually start with raw dairy in the morning.
Okay, yeah.
Like raw milk, raw cheese.
Oh, weird. The short, skinny, weak, frail, fucktard-looking dipshit eats like crap. What a surprise.
Raw butter. Yeah, raw dairy in the morning. Usually, I'll have like some sort of maybe like cooked meat I don't know. I'm not always eating raw meat, obviously.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm doing like cooked meat too. Maybe just like some ground beef or something before I go into work. And then at work, I try.
I just, like, what is this doing for them? All of these people, none of them are particularly interested in physical fitness. None of them. Because if they were, you know exactly what would fucking happen. They'd notice their performance in the gym would go down. They'd feel like shit. They'd get digestive problems because they have to eat more because of the exercise. Like, these are unfit, untrained, not particularly well-motivated people who can get away with eating like this for a period of time because, like, they're not doing anything. They're just sitting around doing jack shit.
Try to pack something healthy. Sometimes it is kind of hard, and like I will admit, like my diet isn't perfect. I still eat like chips sometimes or like some slop. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like something healthy in the morning, some dairy, meat. Pack something for lunch, usually like a burrito or something like chorizo, something like that. And then I come back home, probably like sometimes I have like a steak and then more like raw dairy to like finish the night off. And then,
That's fire, dude. What do you eat? Like, what is like your diet like today?
Well, there you go. Oh, his diet is like that? The short, skinny, fucking twink dipshit who doesn't even look like he can do 5 push-ups? Oh, I gotta try, right? Like, it's... I don't know. Just dumbasses. Thanks for the donation, Sleepy.
The one thing that is of note is that there was a hospitalization that occurred when we were doing the study. So there was one particular patient who took 1 dose of sirolimus, and I think a few days later, they ended up in hospital with pneumonia. Now, it's a bit unclear looking through the records whether the person was actually feeling unwell before they started taking the study drug or not. But again, it's just important to note. And since this is such a small study, again, I don't think that people should be necessarily over-interpreting this in terms of
let
those
me just
events.
For people who may not be rapamycin aficionados, though, right? The reason that's suggestive, of course, is because rapamycin is used in organ transplant patients as an immunosuppressant. You would expect if there's going to be one likely type of side effect from off-label use of rapamycin, it would be an increased risk, particularly of bacterial infection. So it's suggestive, certainly, and appropriately, was judged to be potentially due to the study drug.
And that's it, I think, for the results. We looked at other lab markers, in particular.
Dean the Great couldn't deadlift 285 when he trained with Larry Wheels. Who's Dean the Great? What the fuck? This guy does boxing?
So today, we're going to be testing his squat, bench, deadlift. Last time we linked up... Yep.
Okay, well, look at this guy's legs. I mean, I have fucked up knees. I almost had my left leg amputated, and I swear my legs have never been that skinny. After getting, what was it? 3 fucking surgeries? Like, the one surgery to fix the patellar dislocation, then getting an infection, then getting 2 more surgeries to flush out the infected fluid, being bedridden for 3 months, not even being able to, like, walk or put any real weight on the fucking leg. After all that, my legs were not as skinny as his. So, like, no shit, the guy can't even deadlift 285.
Throw it back a bit more, man.
I'm gonna show y'all niggas. Bitch, I can lift too, nigga. Dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is as low tier God would say, a ROG.
Yeah. Alright. This is...
Yeah, I don't like this guy already. Just total fucking ratchet ass faggot.
Is 135.
This is your body weight right here, man.
It is.
This is
We've already looked at the shooting at Trump's correspondence dinner.
this is all you.
It's my body weight right here.
Yep. Deeper, man, deeper. I want
Damn,
you
nigga,
deeper.
how
Come on,
much long you want me to go, nigga?
Bro, deeper, bro. Oh, half her.
Dude, if that guy kept saying nigger around me, I'd be like, how about you just leave? Sleepy donated $2. I don't understand why vegans are opposed to this. What's your perspective? This is probably going to be annoying. This isn't loading. Horseback riding is typically exploitative, gives the horses stress, and they use torture devices like bits. So that's why horse riding is generally bad.
Here, come on, man. Keep that head down. Yep, there it is. Yep. Throw it back. Come on, man. Yep. One more.
Okay, that's...
Even with the energy drink.
Dude, Larry Wheels must be down bad for money if he's wasting his time with fucktards like this.
Hey, man, dick all in my face, bruh.
What's wrong with that?
Yo, dick in my mouth.
Like, I haven't gotten desperate enough for money to ever waste my time with fucking losers like this.
85.
Stand on that. Bitch.
Sweat market.
I wanted to show them out. Bitch. Whoever. Just show them.
Don't bounce the rap. Don't bounce.
Door.
You get next level.
Two.
Come on. Come on, D. Let's get it. Pull. You pulling?
Ah, nigga, I just shit myself. Heavy?
That is one of the most annoying fucking ratchet ass dipshits I've ever fucking seen in my life. Holy shit.
We were looking at things like HbA1c, which is a marker of your last 3 months blood sugar levels, and there was a slight increase in the sirolimus group compared to placebo that did reach statistical significance, but the clinical difference is so small that to me, if I was looking at this as a GP, you know, and sorry, these are in New Zealand or UK units, the difference is so small that to me it doesn't actually have a clinical relevance to the patient's health. So yeah, I was actually quite relieved when I saw these safety lab results. Matt, did you have any sort of comments about these?
Yeah, I was just going to say again, I think glucoregulatory homeostasis is one of the common side effects in organ transplant patients that is perturbed by rapamycin. So if, again, we were going to see side effects, we would expect it to be lipids or things like A1C, insulin sensitivity. Again, this is suggestive that there probably were modest effects of rapamycin in this population on glucose homeostasis, potentially insulin sensitivity. So again, I view the entire trial.
Guess what? Steroids improve insulin sensitivity. They improve nutrient partitioning. They reduce fat storage, increase muscle mass, which again improves insulin sensitivity. They have beneficial effects on lowering ApoB, including lowering ApoA, which is the most atherogenic lipoprotein. So, like, why are we, like, again, for all the things that they're actually interested in, like improving physical fitness in the elderly, why the fuck are they looking into rapamycin? It's just nuts. Like, this has to be a fucking grift, and it's all just a fucking game so that they can basically just get free money. There's a reason why no pharmaceutical companies are investing in this fucking research. It's because it's obvious this is just a dog shit drug that should only be used for fucking people who've had transplants or something. Like, why are they asking for nearly $1 million fucking dollars to run these stupid fucking trials? Like, again, if these drug companies invest, I don't know how many, like, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in some of these drugs, you'd think they'd have like an incentive to find more ways to use these drugs and prescribe them to people. If anyone had a fucking interest in making research to explore potential more uses of rapamycin, you'd think it'd be like Pfizer or someone who had the fucking patent to it. But they don't. I wonder why. And then we have these YouTube fucking content creator grifting fuckwits. We needed $1 million to test fucking rapamycin in old people for muscle. Oh, the results weren't so good. Maybe we just need less rapamycin. Can you give us another $1 million? Like,
a sort of moderate.
How does anybody watch their, like, how does anybody take them seriously?
Moderately cautionary. And one of the things, again, that surprises me is there's other data out there, some in larger populations, not as well controlled as this study, on rapamycin at comparable doses, or using everolimus in the case of Joan Maddox's study at comparable doses, where you really didn't see this increase in side effects. And so it makes me wonder if, this was a particular population where it seems that this dose of rapamycin might have been too high, or that Rapamune was used in this case. Most of the other studies use a generic form of sirolimus. Is there differences in bioavailability there? But again, if I had to guess, and I like guessing, I just wish I knew with more certainty about my guess. If I had to guess, the dose was just a little high, and maybe spreading it out longer, so it wasn't once weekly, would have alleviated that, and we wouldn't have seen, this moderately or modestly concerning signal when it comes to safety.
The cheap way, I suppose, of getting sirolimus is a generic version. But the trouble with some of the compounded generic versions is that, they aren't enteric coated, and they can just be broken down by the stomach acid and not properly absorbed. So we wanted to make sure that this trial didn't have any issues like that. So we purchased sirolimus directly from Pfizer. And Pfizer had no role to play in the study. They didn't even donate the study drug to us. We had to pay them to have the study drug. The other issue that we...
it's hilarious how they bring this up after what I said. Like, again, Pfizer, out of all fucking... they would be financially incentivized to see if there was other uses for this extremely expensive drug, right? So why wouldn't Pfizer be conducting this research on their own? Why wouldn't they be paying somebody to conduct this research, or like trying to, or like fun? It's because they know it's fucking stupid. It's like, buy our fucking drug. Haha, waste your money, fucktards. Yeah, we just made like fucking tens of thousands of dollars off these fucking idiots doing this stupid fucking study. Cha-ching. Like,
then encountered is that
nobody can
you
think.
You can't crack open these capsules, because if you do, then again the stomach acid will just get into those capsules, break them down, and you won't actually absorb the rapamycin. So what we had to do, there's also no matching placebo. So what we had to do is we had to get these triangle capsules and tablets, and we had to put them into larger capsules and then fill the gaps with cellulose. And then we had the matching placebo as the same capsule, but that one was just filled with cellulose. So that might be a potential reason as to why we saw these results. Is that, by using sirolimus from Pfizer, we made sure that the 6 milligram dose, people were actually truly having that 6 milligram dose.
That's right. Yeah, and again, this is getting in the weeds a little bit, but it's worth just noting that Rapamune is sort of the brand name generic. Let me just put it that way, right? So that, I think that's the version of the drug that when somebody makes a different generic, so you can get just sirolimus from Dr. Reddy's or other manufacturers that isn't Rapamune, in theory, those generics are supposed to give you the same pharmacokinetics and bioavailability as Rapamune, but they're formulated differently, and I don't actually know whether or not they are identical in terms of bioavailability, but if anything, they would be lower. And then, as you alluded to, compounding pharmacies often use their own packaging materials. Some of them use an enteric coating, which should preserve bioavailability, but we have no idea whether it 100% preserves bioavailability. And then, like in the case of the Pearl trial, some compounding pharmacies don't use enteric coatings, and we know in that case 70 or so percent of the rapamycin does not make it into circulation. So and this is where, again, if we could go back, had more resources from the very beginning, we would have loved to measure rapamycin levels in blood, multiple times during the course of the study to actually be able to assess bioavailability, clearance, all of that stuff.
Well, there you go. Maybe it's because of bioavailability. Guess what? You just inject steroids. If you inject steroids, you get all the steroids. Don't have to worry about digestion, bioavailability, absorption. You just take steroids. So again, they're making an even stronger case for these drugs just being dog shit for the application that they're suggesting they have an interest in being used.
But we just unfortunately don't have that data to be able to know what the pharmacokinetics looks like. I will say, I'm guessing you'll want to come back to this idea of, longer spacing between time points. I just did an interview with Bonnie LaFleur at the University of Arizona. They're running a large clinical trial down there, and they've done a preliminary study on 50 people taking either 4 or 8 mgs per week. And so we'll start to get, and they do have pharmacokinetic data on at least those 50 people. We'll start to get more data on what the pharmacokinetics of this once weekly dosing of rapamycin looks like across a heterogeneous population. My guess is, much like the data that we looked at from this paper, it's going to be very variable in individuals. The rate.
That's funny. They identified the shooter, the White House Correspondents' shooter. His name is Cole Thomas Allen. He's a school teacher from California, so you know what that means. The guy is just a wacko fucking communist. Yeah, you can fucking see, right? Like, you can literally see his face. This guy is a gay, retarded fucking communist. Probably one of these, like, pro fucking Palestine fucktards. So, just a gay retard.
At which rapamycin is cleared, at least from blood or from serum.
Which kind of brings us on to the discussion section of the study. So, again, so I'm just going to read this because I think it's important. Contrary to the cycling hypothesis, so this, again, that's the hypothesis where we were hoping to have periods of time where we're switching mTOR off by taking rapamycin, and then separate periods of time where we're trying to switch mTOR on by through exercise.
Can I just add one thing there? I would frame it as we're trying to turn down mTOR, not off.
Yes.
I just because I think too often people think, I know but a lot of people think it's
not binary.
It's a volume dial. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So in the study, we found no evidence of benefit. Instead, the sensitivity analysis revealed statistically significant blunting of functional gains in the sirolimus arm. And again, I do want to preface that and agree with what you're saying, Matt, that we mustn't necessarily overinterpret that. We've talked about, sort of the context and comparison with previous studies, in particular the Pearl study. What I sort of wanted to talk about is a bit of the mechanistic explanations. So in terms of why we saw these results. So in the paper, we said the failure to achieve the best of both worlds effect, which again was trying to have separate, we've just talked about this, but the cycling hypothesis where we're switching down mTOR and then switching it up with exercise. I don't think we quite nailed that balance in the study. So even though we dosed sirolimus 24 hours after the final weekly exercise session, so remember people were exercising on day 1, day 3, day 5, and then they were taking the sirolimus. In the data that we do have, and Matt, maybe you want to talk about this, but the half-life of sirolimus is roughly 62 hours, which may have meant that there was some sirolimus still within the system, within the body system, during the first or even second exercise session, so on day 1 and day 3. Now, Matt, I know that you've got some ideas and thoughts around that half-life number there. So did you want to sort of expand on that?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think the way I would describe it is most of the data we have on pharmacokinetics of rapamycin come from studies of organ transplant patients. There are other patient populations where rapamycin has been used, but the vast majority of data comes from organ transplant patients who are taking several milligrams every day, right? And so in that context, what happens is you rapidly build up a steady state level of rapamycin in the blood. And so then what you're actually measuring with this 62.
The other thing, I suppose, is that even if as you were saying, it seems likely that most, if not all, of the sirolimus is out of the system with before the next weekly dose, but we don't really know what happens at day 2 or day 3. And if there's still sirolimus within the system at day 2 or day 3, then that would have potentially impacted the benefits of exercise on that day 1 exercise day. Yeah.
No, I think that's right. And we do have some data on that. And in fact, this is where the inter-individual variability seems interesting. From the data I've seen, yes, most people will still have detectable levels of rapamycin. It's pretty low, but you can still detect it over 1 nanogram per mil at day 2, sometimes at day 3. So yes, it is very likely that there was some degree of mTOR.
So again, this is just more dosage coping. Again, if this drug is going to be used for increasing muscle mass and strength, huge fucking problem that escalating dose makes you lose muscle and strength. Huge. Or attenuates increases in strength or muscle mass. Like, what's the point?
Why, in implications for future research, in the
we need future research, right? Explore regimens that lengthen time between doses. Like, again, a drug that you want to use to increase muscle mass where it requires lower and lower doses to have any benefit. What sense does that make? Just fucking stupid. Like, fuck you. These people are grifting cocksuckers who just want to suck a bunch of money from a bunch of people so that they can make worthless fucking videos and get paid to help conduct some of this worthless fucking research. And just, like, it's all a grift. It's just money and fucking horse shit. That's all it fucking is. That's just pathetic. So fucking stupid. It blows my mind. Fucking assholes. Oh my god. Oh.
And SJWS say only the right is violent.
Yeah, it's definitely not true. Thanks for the donation though, Dota.
Stay away. Stay away! Get back! Don't come any closer!
What was that?
They have weird veiny legs.
He's not moving. If I run around the thing, are they like still there? Did I wait long enough? What are they fucking doing? Yeah, I thought so too. The kid's voice sounds too mature. What the fuck is this? Oh, dude, my lower back. Oh. why it makes you do that. It's kind of weird. Oh, yeah. Stupid ass kid. Aren't they coming?
What do I do? What do I do?
No, I haven't seen the Orville. I heard it was not funny, so I never bothered watching it.
Please just be a bad dream. What? Why did they? What's wrong with them? What is this place?
Dodo donated $3. It's your gator babies. Looks like they have a nice mom. Little babies look nice. Oh, the little mom loves your babies. That's a good gator mom. That's nice. Look at the little babies having fun, just swimming around. That's good. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Is that how I...
I've got her! Get over here, now!
She's showing symptoms, too.
We need to get rid of her.
They weren't able to recreate Spencer's key. But now we have the original. We have you. You can unlock Elpis at Ark. That's where we'll go.
So... what, I was made?
Correct.
Still cuter than human babies.
Yeah, true.
What was?
Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
That mom was murdered and... oh God, when she turned into that thing.
What's done is done. You need to focus on the future.
Was she even really my mother?
It's time to embrace your destiny.
Grace!
What the? Mr. Kennedy, I had a feeling you'd make an appearance. Sorry, but I don't have time to spare. Have fun.
I remember you.
Oh, God. I remember that, too.
No, it's not DLC, it's a fucking mod.
Wasn't there an orphanage around here?
Yes, there was. Why?
I'm gonna do some digging.
I just sent you the coordinates.
I don't have time to deal
We
with
can't
this.
stun him with a Requiem, right? Ah, shit. Oh, crap.
Give me a goddamn break.
Everything all right, Leon?
Yeah. I'm good.
So why'd you ask about the orphanage?
They're taking Greystark. The orphanage is the entrance.
What is ARC?
Not sure. But apparently it's someplace important.
Oh wait, I can change my loadout here, right? Yeah. Yeah. Can I play this game on Kick with a real Grace nude mod? Do they allow for video game nudity? I'm not sure exactly what YouTube's policies are with video game nudity because you can play Cyberpunk and there's plenty of nudity in that game. Like right from the very beginning, you see vaginas and penis and everything.
This hasn't changed.
I don't know what their whole deal is. Oh. Crap.
Terminate. It's my fucking daughter. You're a cop. You're supposed to know something. How did this happen? Those fucking things outside. What they did to us.
I'm so sorry. Never again. Fuck me. I couldn't save them. But I can stop bastards like you. Die already, you son of a bitch.
That ends up being a lot easier with the snapper mod. They probably want to tone down that mod a little bit. Like, this gun's actually ridiculously good with the modded.
Made it. I'm at the orphanage, Sheriff. There's not much left of it. Heading underground to look for Grace.
Understood.
use this? What would you use that for?
I guess this is my stop. BSAA left something behind. It just keeps going. Finally reached the bottom. This is one very deep hole.
The perfect place to hide something.
This guy's really unrealistic.
Yeah, Low Tier God's funny. Like, I don't hate him. Like, he's an asshole, but he's really funny. Oh my god, I couldn't even see him. Great. Fuck. So, like, can you parry it or not?
Stubborn lead, aren't you?
Do you think the fascists will be taking over the planet soon?
No, I doubt it. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Why is Low Tier God an asshole? Because he's like racist and acts like a dick all the time. I don't know how much you care about that exactly, but
must be it. Sherry, I found some kind of massive facility.
What do you think it is?
I'm seeing supplies with the logos of the usual suspects.
Well, whatever it is, clearly wasn't meant to be found.
Yeah. You're telling me.
Those explode?
This is an image from the year 2083 when Gig the Blooger upgrades his sex robot, and this is when Penn gets his consciousness uploaded into the robot.
I see, that's very good. I can see Gig's butt. Thanks for the donation, Onwib. You're quite an artist. Oh, it already saved, right? Oh, well. Oh my god. Well, it is late anyway, but my back is also hurting sitting in this chair. So I think it would be a good idea if I just go nighty-night. But hope you all had fun. Big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. I don't have to train tomorrow, so I should be able to do a stream earlier in the day. So we'll probably be doing that. But thanks again, everybody. Hope you all had fun. I'll see you all tomorrow. And sweet dreams.